Blood Shadow Beyond the Leaves by Khalisa Ray. The wind whipped through the old oak trees lining Chestnut Grove, rattling the last stubborn leaves still clinging to their branches. Savannah Cole tightened her scarf and glanced down the narrow cobblestone street. The air smelled of rain-soaked earth and dying leaves, a fitting backdrop for her assignment. Detective Cole wasn't supposed to be here. She was on leave, grieving her younger brother Marcus, whose body had been pulled from the Cape Fear River 2 weeks earlier. Accidental drowning, the coroner had said. But Savannah had seen the bruises on his knuckles and the half-written note in his desk drawer that read, "I know who they are." She hadn't been able to make sense of it. Yet. This morning an anonymous tip had been slipped under her apartment door, a single sentence scrawled in sharp black ink. "The answers you seek are in Chestnut Grove." Now here she was, standing outside an abandoned inn on a forgotten street, her service pistol holstered beneath her coat. The inn at Chestnut Grove had been shuttered for nearly 50 years after the mysterious disappearance of its owner, Lena Ray Simmons. The windows now boarded, wood mangled, roof shingles separating and dilapidated, graffiti adorned on the once white siding. Locals swore the place was haunted. Savannah wasn't afraid of ghosts. She was afraid of people. In her line of work, she knew full well what they were capable of. The front door groaned, barely on its hinges, as she stepped inside. Dust motes danced in the weak November light filtering through the cracked windows. Her boots echoed on the warped floorboards. The smell of mildew was thick, but there was something else, a faint metallic tang. Blood. Savannah covered her face with her jacket sleeve and followed the scent down a narrow hallway, her pulse quickening. The tip had led her here, but who had left it, and why? The smell grew stronger as she approached the inn's parlor. She nudged the door open with her foot, her hand resting on her holstered gun. The room was empty, save for a single object on the floor. A black journal, its cover cracked and worn. Savannah picked it up gingerly, flipping through pages filled with frantic, looping handwriting. Names, dates, details, all pointing to the same thing. A trafficking ring operating under the guise of the Simmons family's businesses in the 1970s. Savannah froze when she saw Marcus's name written on the last page. M. Cole. He knows. Deal with him before he talks. A chill crept down her spine as the realization hit her. Whoever had killed Lena Ray Simmons hadn't stopped there. They had silenced Marcus, too. And now they were watching her. The sound of creaking floorboards behind her jolted Savannah out of her thoughts. She spun around, drawing her weapon. A figure emerged from the shadows, a man in his 60s, his face gaunt and pale. "You shouldn't have come here," he said, his voice a low growl. Savannah's grip tightened on her gun. "Who are you?" The man took a step closer, raising his hands in mock surrender. "Doesn't matter. What matters is what you do next. You can walk out of here alive, or you can end up like your brother." Rage boiled in Savannah's chest, but she kept her voice steady. "You're confessing, then?" He laughed, a hollow, humorless sound. "Confessing? No. But I know you're smart enough to figure it out. That journal you're holding, those names, it's a death sentence for anyone who sees them." Savannah's mind raced. She couldn't let him leave, but she also couldn't take him down without backup. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, a message from an unknown number. "Get out now. The truth will cost you your life." The man lunged, and Savannah fired a single shot. He crumpled to the floor, clutching his shoulder, blood seeping through his jacket. "You'll regret this," he hissed through clenched teeth. Savannah didn't reply. She grabbed the journal and ran, her heart pounding as she disappeared into the November dusk. The truth was out there, buried beneath decades of lies and bodies. But Savannah wasn't stopping until she unearthed every last secret. Part 2. The journal sat on Savannah's kitchen table, its cracked leather cover staring back at her like an unblinking eye. She'd barely slept since leaving the inn. Every creak of her apartment felt magnified, every shadow a potential threat. She'd taken a man down, but his words haunted her. "The truth will cost you your life." Marcus's face flashed in her mind, his broad smile, his loud laugh. He would never be another name in a forgotten case file, not if she could help it. Savannah flipped open the journal. She couldn't go to the department, not yet. The corruption detailed in the pages ran deep, implicating powerful figures in the city. Even if a fraction of it were true, she couldn't trust anyone. Her phone buzzed again, another text from the unknown number. Check the riverfront, 10 p.m. Bring the journal. She glanced at the time, 9:13 p.m. If she hurried, she could make it there just in time. But what would she find when she arrived? The riverfront was quiet, the November cold driving away all but the most determined joggers. Savannah parked a block away and approached on foot, her boots crunching against gravel. A dense fog rolled in off the water, shrouding the old warehouses and casting eerie halos around the streetlights. A figure stood at the edge of the dock, their silhouette partially obscured. Savannah gripped the journal tighter, her other hand resting on her holstered weapon. "You came," the figure said, their voice soft but edged with steel. As they stepped into the light, Savannah's breath caught. It was Janelle, Marcus's ex-girlfriend. "Janelle? What are you doing here?" Savannah asked, suspicion lacing her words. "I'm here because Marcus trusted me," Janelle replied. Her dark eyes were rimmed with exhaustion, but her gaze was steady. "He was trying to bring them down, Savannah. That journal? It's the missing piece." Savannah narrowed her eyes. "If you knew all this, why didn't you come forward?" Janelle hesitated, glancing over her shoulder. "Because they've been watching me, too. But Marcus wanted you to have it. He said you'd know what to do." Before Savannah could respond, a sharp click echoed in the fog. She turned just as a gunshot shattered the stillness. Janelle cried out and fell, clutching her side as blood spread across her jacket. Savannah dropped to the ground, drawing her weapon and scanning the fog. Another shot rang out, splintering the wooden post beside her. Heart racing, she grabbed Janelle by the arm and dragged her behind a stack of crates. "Stay with me!" Savannah hissed, applying pressure to Janelle's gushing wound. They know you have it," Janelle gasped. "You can't stop now. Don't let them win." Savannah reached for her phone to call for backup, but the screen flickered and died. A faint hum filled the air, and the fog seemed to thicken unnaturally. Footsteps approached, slow and deliberate. "Detective Cole," a deep voice called out, "you've made quite a mess of things." Savannah's grip on her gun tightened as the footsteps stopped just beyond the crates. "You can walk away," the voice continued. "Leave the journal, forget about your brother, and this all ends tonight." Savannah's aggravation heightened. "You think I'd ever let this go?" The voice chuckled, low and menacing. "Suit yourself." A hand reached around the crate, and Savannah fired. A loud thud followed, but before she could move, a pair of arms grabbed her from behind, pinning her. Her gun clattered to the ground as she struggled against her attacker. "Should have taken the deal," the voice said, now closer. But now a blinding light flooded the dock, and the roar of an engine shattered the tension. Tires screeched as a black SUV barreled onto the scene. Savannah's captor released her just as the vehicle skidded to a stop. The passenger door flew open. "Get in!" a voice shouted. Savannah hesitated for only a second before hoisting Janelle up and diving into the SUV. The driver floored it, the tires spitting gravel as bullets ricocheted off the rear bumper. "Who the hell are you?" Savannah demanded, clutching the journal as the vehicle sped into the night. The driver glanced at her in the rearview mirror, their face obscured by a hood. "Someone who wants the same thing you do," they said cryptically, "but we're running out of time." The SUV plunged into the dark, leaving Savannah with more questions than answers, and the growing sense that she was now in far deeper than she ever imagined.